so loud, singing with Luis. I mean, it was just, yeah, that was very moving. It's very moving to be a part of these big things when people are, with so much passion, expressing their love like that, and that was very special.
Yeah, and one thing I noticed, I did have a chance to see some of the footage, and one is yourself and him trading licks. I mean,
yeah.
So just the way he attended to all the musicians on tour with him, musicians on tour. I mean, it just looked like you're both fully engaged in the conversation music, right? And so,
yeah, and one of the songs I'm doing in the show, but I haven't done it since I worked with him, is a bolero that is like probably the most famous bolero known. It's Besame Mucho. And Besame Mucho is, I just realized that, after going to school with like the king of bolero passion when he sings, I thought, what, I really need to try and share that with people because it's such a special thing what he can do. And he's got all kinds of albums of boleros that he does, and he just sings with so much passion. I thought, well, this is the one I know best. They've got a strong culture of music that goes very traditional. I mean, they have a nationalistic, very traditional music that, with the tuba and the wind instruments, and that's one part of their music. And then they've got their commercial music. And most of the artists will do a lot of the same songs on a record, doing it traditional, with the traditional wind band and the tuba and the violins and everything. And then they'll do the exact same song with a, contemporary band. And you'll hear the same album released, and you're like, wow, I played on that one, but I don't remember that one, so.
And I'm curious, when you got to this place with playing with Luis Miguel, do you have any other experiences with other international musicians that kind of gave you that feel, or where was it that you really resonated with going world almost, would you say?
Well, I've had a chance to work in a couple areas, and kind of like, when you spread some seed in an area, you'll start to see some activity there. I've done a few different Spanish-speaking artists, both in the gospel realm that have done Christian music and are very talented guys and ladies. And then I've also done other pop artists in the Spanish-speaking world. Probably the most well-known would maybe be Gloria Trevi. There was a time that I started working with some of the Japanese and Asian artists. Tak Matsumoto, the Killer Bees, he's a guitar player, rock. They really like the American rock sound, and so he's a great, very talented guitar player. And I've got a chance to work with his band and with him as a solo artist. And there's a number of different artists, in that Asian world also. And then there's obviously the U.S. where I've been, and a lot of the people that I worked with on U.S. shows has been involved with Yamaha, because some of the biggest names. I can say I backed up Elton John in the orchestra with at a Yamaha show. I was like, there's some big names that I've had a chance to play, behind. And not just on the same stage at a different time. I've seen artists kind of stretch that, in their bios. It's like, well, I shared the stage with, an hour apart. So this is actually, with Yamaha, it's been, that was a lot of artists. But then there's a number of people that, when I was working with Greg Adams, that had been with Tower of Power and Tower and Power Horns. And so because he was the arranger for Tower of Power Horns, a lot of people would call him to basically put Tower of Power Horns on their record. So, I got calls for Josh Groban and Santana, and there was a couple of people he called me for that were great, big artists. That was a lot of fun too. So, yeah. Well, I didn't. I like, for instance, I mean, different things lay different ways because, Dreams Come True. I was supposed to do a summer tour with them, but I was on the road with Luis Miguel, and I saw that as something that had the potential of longevity. And so, I didn't want to leave the Luis gig and try and take that. Although hanging out in Japan for 3 months sounded like a lot of fun, but I ended up staying with Luis. So I mean, there's, some people I get a chance to tour with also, but sometimes it's just record. I mean,
Right.
I mean, I've never played live with Weezer, but I played on a Weezer video and I played on a Weezer CD. So I mean, it's like different names in my bio have some little story attached to them. So.
Yeah, and I think the bio is extremely cool. On the one that I'm seeing, you have a very nice one on gigsalad.com. This one for sure has a section for rock, pop, R&B, a section for smooth jazz, and a section for gospel Christian music. And each one has at least, 40 names.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. The most important thing that I wanted to get out of here is that you've had some amazing partnerships, and one really that stands out is Marc Antoine, at least what I've seen. And how about others? Well, tell me about your experience working with him. It's the core of smooth jazz, right?
Well, Marc is a very talented young man. He's now back in Spain, unfortunately. So I don't, and I have not pulled up the darn time translation thing recently to figure out when I can call him again, because I think it's like I can call him late at night and it's early for them. I think it's that far off on the world's time schedule thing. But Marc, when he was living here around the corner from me, that was just a real treat. Because I got involved in when he was coming out here, making some suggestions. I didn't know he was going to land so close, and ended up being a very cool thing to have a good friend that there's a lot of love, and he's got a huge, very successful career. I mean, he's lived in Spain, lived in France. He's married to a Spanish girl. He is French. He speaks all 3 languages: U.S., English, Spanish, and French. But he's just a really talented guy, And that was a treat to have him so close. I felt like I was kind of, I don't know, I hope having a little friend that I could just, talk to. Really, I mean, I could hit him up on any number of questions on, CD releases, on promotion, on, places that you can get your CDs involved in this program or that. I mean, he just knew everything. But there's there's a number of people that have been really influential. I mean, there was a decade I worked with Rob Mullins, who's a very amazing keyboard player. And I felt like I went to school with him. It's like 10 years of playing in his band every Friday. It seemed like pretty much, and that was like a huge education, because literally I learned how to trust my ears and let go, and just like he'd harmonically go someplace I had no idea where we were, but we were there together, and it was like, and I'm like playing this stuff, I'm going, dang, this is so cool, what did I just do? That sounded so cool. So I've been blessed with a number of people like that. Being here in LA, the talent base is just so deep, So I mean, the people that you have an opportunity to get a call from, is it's a little different here than it might be in South Dakota.
Absolutely, and it's through playing through the various levels of, I guess, manufacturing, quality of instruments over the years. There's tone versus accuracy, and so I'm just kind of curious where you, as far as where you find yourself in choosing the instrument and for what.
Well, I've always been intrigued in the mechanics of it all. And I'm one of those saxophone players that believe that anything can have an effect on the sound. And some things can be voodoo. You know, I mean, you could stick a sticker on your saxophone and say, "Ooh, that makes it sound so much better," and it doesn't do anything. And if you looked, you could pull up a spectrograph of it and see that nothing changed when you stuck that little sticker on your saxophone. But there are a number of things that can change the sound, that do change the effect of the sound. I mean, something as simple as the reed. The different kinds of reeds that they have. I use these plastic coated reeds. They tend to be a little bright, but they tend to respond really quickly, and they have a really nice altissimo. They go up really high because they tend to be brighter, so that kind of includes those higher notes. And that I've had to offset in other places on my instrument to try and make it sound full and not sound too thin because of the brightness, but it's like, basically, I've been playing with those elements for, since high school, really. When I first started kind of getting into sound, like, trying metal mouthpieces, like, oh my gosh, this is, and everything was like life shadowing, like, and then you start to incorporate that into your system and this into your system, and, and I've got, whatever kind of screw on the neck, and, and there's like all these different things that some people look at as voodoo. And sometimes I will tell people, even if it was voodoo, it's, if that lucky rabbit's foot makes me feel more confident and more successful when I go for it, then yay for the rabbit's foot. It's like, but I believe that everything that I've done to my instrument to make it respond better was a good thing to do. So I mean, I'm definitely on that side of like, I'll try stuff, and I like all the junk. I like all the little things that you can try. Some of them I don't see value in because I didn't sense it, but other people maybe did. And I totally give people their experience is their experience. My experience is my experience, and I'd look at sax players that would be negative towards me and say, hey, you know what? You can't bag on my experience. This is what I experienced. You can't tell me I didn't. So, cryo, the freezing of the horns. It's like, I did a video for Yamaha on cryo, that was like, I thought it was astounding. It's like, oh my gosh. And then people responded by saying, well, you played better licks after you played the cryo horn. It's like, well, and we had to talk about it for a minute, but it's like, yeah, I was inspired to play. Well, I was excited, so I probably played, a little more aggressively after it was cryoed, but it comes down to your experience and what gets you excited, and so all of my music, my saxophones, and any work I've done on things to try and change that. My sound, I've just been blessed to have a commercial sound. And in LA, that's a huge thing. And I never really wanted to sound like any of my dead heroes because they're dead. I didn't see like a big, benefit in trying to sound like, Coltrane, because he did that. What do I got to do that for now? And I have friends that will lock into trying to be somebody that's no longer living, and it's like, seems silly to me. I mean, I'm sure there's guys that you could say, I sound like I try and sound like Michael Brecker or whatever, but it's like, I love Michael Brecker. One of the songs we're doing in this set that I've added to the show is a Brecker song from Steps Ahead, the most commercial project he ever did. So I mean, it's like, I love that sound, and I love playing that song and trying to capture that sound because it's such a challenge to do well.
So in the whole conversation of influences and, tuning, also songwriting, having your influences, learning the chops through your mentors, you've gotten to a point of songwriting, and
songwriting is kind of almost scary to me because I've always had such great writers around me that I never felt like I should. Like why would I? It's kind of like singing. For a minute, I started trying to sing, and then I played with so many great singers. Why would I just be a mediocre singer and be okay with that? And so I felt the same way about songwriting. But there was an event that happened in my life about 3 years ago now that was kind of a restart, a reload. The whole system reloaded. I had a stroke, and it's been about 3 years now. But honestly, I came out of that stroke and I started thinking a little differently. And one of the things that happened is all the songs that are on this project are post-stroke. None of these songs I wrote before I had the stroke. I didn't write music before I had the stroke. And I don't know why. But all I know is in chronology, I always felt like it was a waste for me to play. I would like adapt a section of a song, maybe write with somebody a little bit, like on the melody side, because I think melodically, since I play saxophone and stuff, I mean, that's logical, but I didn't think in terms of tackling a song from start to finish, chords and feel and everything, until after I had the stroke.
Right.
And for whatever reason, that's, I don't know why I felt like I could now. I don't know. All I know is that I like the new music a lot. I really do. I mean, there's a tenor ballad that I think is it's beautiful. I'm very moving, and that I wrote, and I love it. It's a jazz tenor ballad, traditional sound. But, and then it's called, interesting enough, it's called Needed Love. And it was named by my computer. I saw, when I'm looking at my screen, it said there's a naming feature. And I'm like, how does this work? And I just hit the button, like, name this song, and it came out, Needed Love. And I just went, how did it know? And it was like,
Send me the link later.
Yeah, it was like, because the titles are always the hardest for me. And it was like, and this one just spit out on my computer. So it's called Needed Love. And it's a beautiful ballad. Yeah.
Well, we'll look forward to hearing it for sure.
Yeah.
And
I'm looking forward to playing it. It's on the set for this show. I asked my bass player to please bring the real bass, the big upright, because it's just such a sound. And most of the time I let him do electric on the whole set. But I just said, you know what, there's a couple songs I really want an upright. So it'll be nice to get it, performed for y'all.
Having had all these experiences with so many different musicians, where did your core, feeling, connection with sax, wind instruments, where did you start, and where did it really resonate that this was it?
That was pretty easy because it kind of got handed to me as a child. My grandfather was a professional clarinetist back in the day, before saxophone was invented. He was born in the end of the 1800s. And he started playing, he was a Chicago Symphony Conservatory of Music guy and stuff. And the saxophone thing came out, and he was one of the first guys to jump on it, or early guys. I mean, he wasn't one of the first guys, I don't think. But I know early guys to jump on the saxophone. And when he started playing saxophone, he had, eventually piles of saxophones in his, possession, and all kinds of different interesting instruments. And when I came into the world, he said, hey, you want to look at this? And I said, yeah. So I got a chance to look at, saxophone as a concept. And for whatever reason, I was just totally intrigued by it. When Lawrence Welk would come on Sunday night, I would sit there and just wait for a saxophone to be shown on the screen with the camera coming across, and I would get so excited, and I don't know why. I'd be, Mom, look, there's a saxophone player. And she'd go, yes, Greg, there's a saxophone. It's like, it was kind of redundant, but it was like really got me excited. And so I would just have to say, far back as I can remember, saxophone excited me. And to this day, it's not quite as jubilant and excitement, but it's still very exciting. It's like, it's really a cool instrument to play. I mean, I can't think of anything I could have chose to do with my life that would be more fun than this, because this is a lot of fun.
get yourself all dressed. Time to get your shiny dance shoes on, 'cause everybody's jumping at Jack's. All the kids are coming down, just to dig the swinging sound. You can hear the band from miles away, 'cause everybody's jumping at Jack's. Here's a little well-known secret, sure as there's the sky above.
Nothing could be any sweeter
than dancing with the one you love. When life is like a sour note, here's a happy antidote. Come to where the party never ends, 'cause everybody's jumping at Jack's.
A lot of original stuff tonight, which I'm excited about. And he's coming packing not only this great band, Mark and Herman and Ernie, but also Jeff Gunn, one of my favorite singers. So it's going to be a great night. And also we're joined by all kinds of folks from all around the world in the metaverse tonight. And literally, you're going to get a little treat. We did this a few weeks ago when Arturo Sandoval was here. We're going to do it again tonight. And you know what? I'm not going to tell you what we're going to do. You're just going to experience it and find out and go, what is going on? So anyway, without anything further, here he comes, Greg Vail. Come on up, Greg.
Totally caught me off guard. I'm sitting there talking to people and having a grand old time. It's like, wait, it's showtime? It's like, here we go. And then the lights are on, and I can't see anything. It's 6 o'clock. I can see that. We have a little clock right there. It is so awesome to have you guys out tonight. I am so excited to have these people behind me to share with you. And we've got some new music. Well, new music to the band. We've done a few times. We've played some of the songs. But we also have some songs that we've never done for anybody that's going to be a lot of fun. So we've got a lot of great music for you, and I'm really excited that you're here. We'll get started. That's what happens when you're totally not ready. And welcome to our folks that are online. We have lots of people. I have made sure to let people know that they can tune in online on Twitch and on YouTube. And then I do believe that you can even see shows on Facebook still. So I don't know. I don't know about that, but I know Twitch and YouTube, and I don't have to tell you that if you're watching because you can see it right now. Little swing shuffle for you that I just totally love. New song. Thank you. That's a song. That's one of the new songs. It's called Too Many Notes. It kind of represents both kinds of jazz competing with one another at the same time. There's one part that would be a hook that would be kind of smooth jazzy, and that is what my friend back here is playing. Can you play that for us? Yeah, it's just like that little thing that just keeps happening. That's kind of a smooth jazz thing. And then old school jazz is going to be kind of lines and stuff, like more notes, like the Too Many Notes that I called the song. Kind of like lots of notes. So there's old jazz and new jazz kind of battling out in that song. And that's kind of a fun one. We opened up with a song that was a blues shuffle called Kick It Down the Road. And it's kind of what I call my political song, because I think that's what we do in politics, is we just kick all the problems down the road, don't deal with anything. So that's what we started off with, was Kick It Down the Road, and then Too Many Notes. And we are going to move to my friend here on the piano. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mark Hugenberger. Thank you. That's a song called Needed Love. And oddly enough, it's a song that my computer titled, because I was inputting music into my computer, and I saw this little button that said, name song. I'm like, I never have names for songs. So I just pushed the button, and what kicked out of my computer was Needed Love. And I've thought that was the most appropriate title for that song, for a nice tenor ballad, like ever. So my computer named it. It was pretty cool. We're going to carry on with a song that is called Daydreaming, and it is another one of the new songs. Now, oddly enough, all of this music started coming out after a little event that I haven't been really big to broadcast. A lot of people, when I share this information with, they go, wait, I never saw that on Facebook. It's like, well, I never put it on Facebook, But just to be forthright, there was no music that I'd really written before the last 2 years. And back in the end of 2019, there's a little event in my life kind of slowed me down a little bit. And I, oddly enough, started writing all my songs after this. And it's just, I don't know why I just kind of realized that, but I was thinking about it. So end of 2019, I was on the road with Luis Miguel, and I had just come home for a little break, and I had a stroke. And it was a drag. I mean, it was like, obviously, it wasn't as bad as it could have been because I've recovered pretty successfully since then. But the pandemic started, and I was in the process of recovering from my stroke. It was a perfect time to be trying to recover and working on things, balance and walking and talking and everything. I mean, I had a lot of things to deal with. But one of the things I started doing is I started writing music. And I've co-written music. I've kind of helped with the melody because I play saxophone, so I've helped with melody with people, but I had never really written songs from beginning to start. And I started doing that. And so those first few songs that you've heard tonight were songs that came after my stroke. And I don't know how that fits together, but I just know that it did. Chronologically, it worked out that way. This is another one of those new songs. This song is called Daydreaming, and it's kind of a cool little Latin thing. Hope you like it. This is a baritone saxophone. The original heavy metal. More cucumber. Wow, that was pretty cool, Barry Sax.
with me, and we'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take your time, and we'll find into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in the world of my creation. What we'll see will defy explanation. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. Want to change the world, there's nothing to it. There is no life I know compare with pure imagination. Living there, you'll be free to explore your imagination. If you want to see magic lands, anytime you please and be one. Anytime you please, a dream one. Anytime you please, and please save me one. Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look and you'll see into your imagination. There is no place to go to compare with your imagination. So go there to be free if you truly wish to be. So go there to be free if you truly wish to be.
Ladies and gentlemen, my friend Jeff Gunn. We're going to have him sing another song because he's here. And we're going to have him do a little Luther for you. You guys in the mood for some Luther Vandross? Good time to introduce my drumming friend back there. He's been playing amazing drums. I don't think I've said his name one time yet. That is Herman Matthews. And he is definitely something special on the drums.
And 1,
what happiness really means. The love that we share makes life so sweet. Together we'll always be. 'Cause this pledge of love feels so right, and oh, I need you here and now. I promise to love faithfully. You're all I need here and now. I vow to be one with thee. Your love is all I need. Stay. When I look in your eyes, there I see all that a love should really be. And I need you more and more each day. Nothing can take your love away. It's more than just a dream, and oh, I need you. So here and now, I promise to love faithfully. 'Cause you're all I need here and now. Oh, I vow to be one with thee. Your love is all I need. I'm starting here, I'm starting now. I believe. Starting here, I'm starting right here, right now, because I believe in your love. So I'm glad to take the vow here and now. Oh, I promise to love faithfully. 'Cause you're all I need here and now. Oh, I vow to be one with thee. Your love is all I, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Your love is all I need, yeah, yeah. Ooh,
Wow, that is my talented friend, Jeff Gunn. Thank you, Jeffrey. Wow, the next song on the set is kind of fun for me because it's a Michael Brecker Steps Ahead song, which is like probably my favorite melody I ever heard him play. You know, sometimes you hear something and it just like really catches you, hooks you in. You go, wow. Well, kind of like that Luther tune, you know, but there's just certain songs that the melody just really grabs you. And this was a saxophone. A lot of people ask me, who's my favorite sax player? Who is my biggest influence? And there's always a lot of people, but one of the very important influences and most astounding saxophone players that ever lived was Michael Brecker. And one thing I forgot to mention when I was playing the baritone saxophone is that I just saw online that the most outstanding bari player in the world just passed, Ronnie Cooper. Yeah, I was just like stunned because Ronnie, I never got a chance to see him play live. I've heard him on Benson stuff and all kinds of projects and all over the internet. I've tracked him down and listened to him, but that was Sugar was really for him because he was just such an influential bari player. So this is a song dedicated to the late great Michael Brecker. Wow. Some songs are really demanding. You know, it's just, and that's just one of the songs. It's a very demanding melody on the saxophone, but so beautifully played by Michael. Well, how many of you know that I got a chance to tour with Luis Miguel? Most of you guys probably already know that. Luis Miguel is not really well known in the world of English-speaking folks, but he's huge in the Latin world, in Spanish-speaking countries. And I toured with him for 2 years, did hundreds of dates all over South America, Mexico, Spain, and had just an amazing time playing with him. Luis, he was a star when he was 14 years old. There's a Netflix special you can see, and they came out with an English version, which it makes it much easier to follow. But he's kind of, in the Spanish-speaking world, Luis is the Michael Jackson and the Frank Sinatra, all wrapped up in one guy. He's the biggest selling artist of all time in Spanish-speaking countries. And so, working with him, I realized that just recently, I was kind of thinking about it, and I just realized that I spent 2 years in school, really, listening to a master sing melodies. He's like the master of melody, and he just sings so beautifully. He's like, most people who have heard him, it's like he's everybody's favorite singer. You know, he's got a house in Beverly Hills. He dated Mariah Carey. I mean, he's like, he's very Americanized at times. But so I decided that my time with Luis is not going to be to waste. I'm hoping that we get a chance to go back on the road soon. But what I wanted to do was take a bolero and try and approach it a little bit like he would do. And so I took my favorite bolero, because he's kind of the king of boleros. This is Besame Mucho. And this is thanks to Luis Miguel and 2 years of school. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ernie Nunez on the bass, playing the big 5-string. Thank you so much. That's a song called Sunrise in Seville, and it's a place that I got to go when we were in Spain, and it's beautiful. Oh my gosh, hundreds of years old city, like built on a cliff. It's like the whole thing is amazing, and so that was Sunrise in Seville. We're going to go on to a song that Jeffrey is going to come back on stage for. Where are you at, Jeffrey? Where is... Oh, there's Mr. Jeff Gunn. Sorry.
Speaker. Never take the mic in front of the speaker. Rookie move. All right, how many of you guys like Stevie Wonder? I feel like him right now because these lights are blinding me and I can't see how many of you raised your hands. But I did hear you. All right, so here's an old Stevie song, and we're gonna have fun with this one.
itself with a language we all understand, with an equal opportunity for all to sing, dance, and clap their hands. But just because a record has a groove don't make it in the groove. And you can tell right away in letter A when the people start to move. You can feel it all over. They can feel it all over, people. They can feel it all over. I can feel it all over, people. Go! Music knows it isn't always will be one of the things that life just won't quit. And here are some of music's pioneers that time will not allow us to forget. Well, there's Besame Mucho, Saxophone, and the king of all to do. With a voice like Ellis ringing out, there's no way the man can lose. Woo! You can feel it all over. I can feel it all over, people. You can feel it all over. I can feel it all over, 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 go, go. You can feel it all over. I can feel it all over, 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 over. You can feel it all over. I can feel it all over, people. Go! You can feel it all over, and I can feel it all over, people. You can feel it all over. I can feel all over, 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 over. You can feel it all over. I can feel all over, no, all over. You can feel it all over. I can feel it all over. One last time, here we go.
Wow. Mr. Jeff
Greg
Gunn.
Vail. Greg Vail.
Wow, that was fun. Thank you, Jeff. Well, we got time for, well, we really don't have time for it, but we're going to do one more song, and it's actually the song that I think is, if you held your phone up to the little dilly doodad thing up there, I think one of the NFTs that they're dropping tonight is this song called Falling Gracefully, and it's a kind of fun song. I mean, the title came from Buzz Lightyear when he jumped off the top of the dresser, and Woody looked at him and he says, "You're not flying, you're just falling gracefully," you know, and he's like, "Ooh," you know, and it's kind of where the song came from. And it was funny because when that movie came out, they had all the toys at the McDonald's, and I knew something was up when we were in McDonald's, and I had all my boys at the time with me, and Ben my son opens up his Happy Meal, and he had something other than a Woody doll, and he starts screaming in the middle of McDonald's, "I want a Woody! I want a Woody!" And he's screaming that, and I just looked, and all the other parents are looking at me, and we're all like, they did it again. they got us with, I didn't know. I didn't think about it until he's screaming that he wants a Woody. It was pretty funny. So this is a song that's in that game. It's called Falling Gracefully, and it is available, I think, in NFT land. You can use your phone, point at that thing, and just see what it says, because I haven't done that yet. I'm kind of interested to see. And we've had our avatars dancing behind us. Have you seen those interesting, fun people? I just feel inspired to dance goofy, Too much fun. So this song also, I mentioned Michael Brecker earlier. He's very influential to me. The melody of this song, I like to think of as if Bruno Mars and Michael Brecker went to lunch together. And it's got a little bit of a sing-songy kind of, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of a Bruno kind of sing-songy part, and then it's got lines in it that are kind of in that Brecker vein. So this is kind of Bruno Mars goes to lunch with Michael Brecker. Falling Gracefully. All right. Thank you, Twitter sphere, NFT land, crypto world, and all of our friends in the room right here. Thank you to my daughter for coming out tonight. I don't know if she's still here. Oh, there she is. Yay, love you, baby. My little Vanessa's here. If you know her, she's sitting over there. We will see you in November if you want to come back and see another show, because we are doing another show in November. My incredibly talented band, Ernie Nunez, Mark Hugenberger, and Mr. Herman Matthews. Jeff Gunn on vocals, Greg Vail, God bless y'all. We'll see you soon.